I've been looking at the Psalms, and I'm looking today at Psalm 77. And this is what it says: For the director of music for Jeduthun of Asaph, a psalm. I cried out to God for help. I cried out to God to hear me. When I was in distress, I sought the Lord. At night I stretched out untiring hands, and my soul refused to be comforted. I remembered you, O God, and I groaned. I mused, and my spirit grew faint. You kept my eyes from closing. I was too troubled to speak. I thought about the former days, the years of long ago. I remembered my songs in the night. My heart mused, and my spirit inquired. Will the Lord reject forever? Will he never show his favour again? Has his unfailing love vanished forever? Has his promise failed for all time? Has God forgotten to be merciful? Has he in anger withheld his compassion? Then I thought, to this I will appeal, the years of the right hand of the Most High. I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will meditate on all your works and consider all your mighty deeds. Your ways, O God, are holy. What God is so great as our God? You are the God who performs miracles. You display your power among the nations. With your mighty arm you redeem your people, the descendants of Jacob and Joseph. The waters saw you, O God. The waters saw you and writhed. The very depths convulsed. The clouds poured down water. The skies resounded with thunder. Your arrows flashed back and forth. Your thunder was heard in the whirlwind. Your lightning lit up the world. The earth trembled and quaked. Your path led through the sea, your way through the mighty waters. Though your footprints were not seen, you led your people like a flock by the hand of Moses and Aaron. There's a lot of things in this psalm, and I just wanted to point out first how the psalmist comes straight into this place where he's talking about how he's troubled and distressed. It's difficult to speak, hard to maybe process what's going on. His heart is reflecting on this. He's trying to get through this. He's struggling with it. He stretches out untiring hands. His soul refuses to be comforted. It's tough. It's difficult. Something keeps him awake at night. And he asks a load of questions. Has God forgotten us? Is he not there anymore? What's happening? These are really fundamental, real questions. He's not just creating some sort of hypothetical thoughts in his head, but he's asking very difficult questions. And the point is that he has to remember that God is at work. He has to remember that God is still the God of miracles. I pray today that we would remember who God is, that he's the God of miracles, that he's a God who's done great things. He's a God who will act. And even when we are struggling with a whole load of questions, he's a God who we can trust and we can look to. He says, to this I will appeal, the years of the right hand of the Most High. It's the continuing story of God. It's the appeal is to the overarching story, the overarching, consistent, faithful story of God that he looks to. That's what he determines is the answer to these very difficult struggles and questions, these staying awake at night moments, these things that are too difficult to even try and express. It's the faithfulness and the grace of God, the way in which God acts, and he continues to act, the way in which God does do stuff, and the way in which he led them in the past. The whole point is he's talking about the way in which God has done stuff. If we know his record, if we know his previous record, we know his faithfulness for the years ahead, even if we can't see it all right now. In verse 19, your path led through the sea, your way through the mighty waters, though your footprints were not seen. They couldn't see the whole story at that time either. They couldn't see the entire nature of the story as they left Egypt, as they went through the Red Sea, as they went into the desert and then into the Promised Land. Not all of it was evident in the moment. But the point is that God led them as a people. God led them through the leaders he appointed. And he's remembering that leaders before went through the same things. People who were leading the people went through the same things, and it wasn't an easy job. Look at the story of Moses and Aaron leading God's people like a flock. Well, they weren't always a very obedient flock, and they weren't always happy, and they weren't always going with the flow of what God was doing. But God still worked in the midst of it all. God still showed his faithfulness. The outcomes are to be seen later on. And he's remembering that if those stories of God's faithfulness leading them through very difficult paths, very difficult phases in history, if that's true for then I must trust it for now and for later. So I pray that we would rediscover God's faithfulness all over again today.